Hey guys, it is time for our review of WWE NXT Battleground 2025, which came to you guys last night from the Yingling Center in Tampa, Florida. What a show. It was a good one. A lot of good wrestling on the show. Not a ton of surprises, but we'll definitely get to, the big title change that definitely happened at the end there. Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, and we're going to break it all down for you guys. As always, I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And so, Sean, overall, what did you think of the show?
I mean, it's an NXT show, and we all know that there's pretty high expectations of most of NXT's PLEs because they usually deliver on that front. I think this one definitely had more highs than lows. There were a couple of questionable things, at least in my opinion, but it was just it was their typical NXT show. I definitely enjoyed it, and I certainly enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than Saturday night's main event, like we predicted during our videos talk leading up to this.
Yeah, completely agree. Definitely, I think of the three wrestling shows of the weekend, while the AEW show had some good stuff on it, I think this was the best card from top to bottom. Like every match was good on this card. I think I don't think anything was except for the women's title match. I wouldn't say anything was great, but everything was good. The women's title match was the
Yep.
best match in my opinion on the show. It was fantastic. But let's get right into it. So the main show kicked off with the Women's North American Championship, Sol Ruca with Zarya against Kalani Jordan. So what did you think of this match? And, Ruca winning kind of seemed like the right call here because she just recently captured the title. And obviously there's going to eventually be something between her and Zarya, and that might be when the title switches hands. But overall, what did you think of the match and the outcome?
The only way Kalani Jordan could have won is if there was a heel turn of some sort. And I didn't really see that coming. We know what to expect when these two women face each other. They've faced each other several times, and every match has been good. Um, the ending to the
Oh, I think you're frozen. I think Sean's frozen.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You were frozen for a second there.
That was, hold on.
Look at this guy. He's just so handsome. Um, yes, but good match overall. I really like the finish of it, and with Ruka going for that super poison Rana was really fantastic, and I'm definitely glad that Sol Ruka got the win. It seems like you're back now. Maybe now we can't hear him. Yeah, I think he's totally frozen.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here. My program is being like super bizarre. Like you keep freezing on me. We'll try to work our way through this though. But yeah, no, the way the match ended, the Super Soul Snatcher was incredible. Was a little bit weird seeing Zarya directly interfere. That's not something that you would normally see a face do.
Mm,
But outside of that, the match was athletic enough. It was pretty much everything we expected. It was fun, and the right person won.
yeah, completely agree. Sol Ruka defeated Kalani Jordan via pinfall to retain the North American Women's Championship. So overall, good match. Led to our next match of the Culling versus Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs. I mean, this match was awesome. I love Hank and Tank. They're a lot of fun. They really are a great tag team. And obviously, Hank and Tank did get the win, although there was a bunch of shenanigans after the match. And I will let you get into that, Sean. What did you think of the match? And then, obviously, what happened after the match with the return and everything else like that.
I think I picked the calling to win this one, didn't I?
I Yeah, I think so. And I think I picked
Oh,
Hank and Tank because I was like, it's probably too soon for them to, even though it wasn't their title, I just didn't think they would have them take a loss that quickly.
so the reason I picked the culling, I believe I also put the stipulation that if somehow we saw Inamura returning, Hank and Tank and Briggs would win. And that's exactly what happened, even though it was after the match. It still got to where I said it did. And I think this is all just building up to proving Sean Spears and the culling wrong about Josh Briggs and being able to keep his friends and partners around. Um, Physical, hard hitting match. The culling is a weird group to judge right now because it really doesn't feel like they have a concrete direction for them. I would like to see them in more of a like concrete storyline,
Yeah.
but I guess we'll see where they go with this if this turns into another multi-person match again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a yeah, it was you're absolutely right. It was a very hard-hitting match. There was a spot where Van sent Hank like face first into the steel post, and like the way the sound came across at one point, I was like, good God, like I think he really hit that. Like
Yeah.
he really went down hard. But yeah, overall solid match, very hard-hitting. And I think the right team won that match. Moving on, we had Tony D'Angelo versus Stax, Channing Lorenzo. I think this was fine. I think Stax getting the win is probably the right thing for his character. I think the bigger problem I kind of have with this is just sort of like where to go with the Don, like after the fact with this match. Like, what are we gonna, where's he gonna go? What is he gonna do? We were talking before this, before we get on here, and maybe we think that like he either needs to get the family back together or kind of find some way to, build a new faction or something like that. But I mean, very hard hitting match. D'Angelo did hit Sachs with two spine busters, which was really, really awesome. And D'Angelo also hit him with a forget about it, which I love that move. I think it's fantastic. But an overall solid match. I don't really know where we go from here with
So
these two characters.
So both of them are real underrated as far as their actual in-ring ability. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows them more as far as their mob boss characters and that, but both these guys can really go in the ring, and this match showed it. Um, the only thing is I feel like if Tony wins, the story is definitively over, and I feel like this storyline is leading to Tony losing everything and having to rebuild everything is the impression I get. I didn't like the way it ended with Luca all of a sudden appearing out of nowhere and doing absolutely nothing, then trying to hug Tony afterwards. Like that really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Honestly, I thought that if if Stacks won here, I thought Rizzo was going to come out and turn heel on Tony.
Mhm.
I still think that's coming. And like I said, I think the ultimate end to this story is Tony losing all of them and either having to win them back or create a new family.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. It's probably where they're going to have to go with this. But I mean, overall, it was an excellent match. You could very clearly tell in watching this that the chemistry that these two guys have together, like they really, they sold their moves well, and they just like it was great. It was a great match. It was, very easy to watch, and I very much enjoyed it.
It really made you believe that these guys have been friends since childhood.
Hmm.
Like the way that they sold that story in the ring and how comfortable they looked with each other.
Yeah, completely agree. This led to what I think was the match of the night for the NXT Women's Championship between Stephanie Vacour and Jordynne Grace. And this match was awesome. I mean, these two went to war. I mean, it took everything in Stephanie's arsenal to put Jordan away. And I mean, she hit her with all of her moves. And I always love when Booker T gets all like horny when she does the face stomp thing with her thighs. I think that that's hysterical. Yeah, I mean, overall, just an outstanding match from top to bottom. Stephanie Vaquer obviously retained her title, and she's going to be going on to, well, I guess we'll have to see. And Jordan Grace, just my God, like the power, like she got her up for a jackhammer at one point, and it was just like completely ridiculous. But yeah, just these two women like left it all out on the table, and I loved this match from top to bottom. If you watch any match on this show, this was the one to watch.
So I do think that Jordan Grace is going to be the one who takes the title off of Stephanie Vicker. I don't see anybody else in that locker room being a big enough star to do it unless they build somebody really quick. But you're right. Vicker really had to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Grace. And it was hard hitting power move after hard hitting power move. people being put through barricades, and which isn't something you normally see during a women's match.
No,
Um,
no.
and I mean, how many finishers did she hit Grace with? Like three before she
I think so.
finally ended it. Um, and it was just, and like you said, Booker's reaction to the Devil's Kiss is just so gross, so gross. It's funny.
I love
Um,
it. I love it.
but it's this. You're right. This was probably the match of the night, and as close to a 5-star match as you could have on this card.
Yeah, completely agree. Before we had the next match, there was a segment backstage with Ethan Page where he called out Ricky Saints for their match that they're going to have, which ended up being booked by Ava for Tuesday's show for the North American Championship against Ricky Saints. And then Ava made the announcement as well that the winner of that match would then be defending said title at the Worlds Collide show in a couple of weeks as well. So it'd be interesting to see. I think Ricky Saints is probably going to retain, but you know, I'm sure it'll be an excellent match. Both guys are awesome.
Oh, it's going to be a fantastic match. I know I'm looking forward to it because just those two guys' experience from working with each other in AEW, you know
Mhm.
you're going to put together something spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. So then this led to our NXT Championship match between Obafemi and Miles Bourne, and this match started off kind of like a squash match initially. Oba was destroying him at the beginning of the match, but I mean, Miles really played the baby face kind of like
Underdog.
even though Oba is not really technically a heel. I mean, Miles really played the like underdog baby face role very well. And I mean Oba, steadily kind of just like kept, beating him down, beating him down, beating him down. And Bourne kind of kept playing to the crowd and, a lot of like twists and turns in this match. But I mean, overall, I knew from the start that Miles was not going to beat Oba here. But at the same time, they did make Miles look like a star. And, I think the kid's definitely going to have a bright future. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if someday he becomes the NXT champion, just not, not through Oba Femi.
I mean, we all knew this match was a foregone conclusion. I guess the more important part is that they made both guys look good.
Hmm.
That Orton style power slam that Bourne did to Obafemi was incredibly smooth.
Hmm.
And just the fact that it took Obafemi landing like three falls from grace
Yeah.
on uh on him to end him gives a lot of credit to Miles Bourne. And you're right, the kid has a bright future, and we know how WWE loves to play up these underdog stories. And he's not handicapped; he's handy capable. You know as well as I do that that's going to be something that WWE will 100% play into.
Oh, completely agree. And I mean, even when Oba was going back up the ramp, he kind of gave him like turned around and kind of gave him like the nod, as well. So yeah, outstanding match. Very hard
Honestly, though,
hitting. Yeah.
I think my bigger surprise out of this was that Charlie Dempsey didn't interfere and cause some sort of issue with Miles Bourne, especially with the way he acted when they were coming out, um, with
He,
refusing to like fist bump him and stuff.
yeah, he like
Um,
he like glared at him and he thought
yeah,
something was gonna happen, but yeah, it was just like it was what it was. Um so then surprisingly, which that match wasn't the main event, but the TNA World Championship indeed was the last match on the card of champion Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams. And this was probably the biggest surprise of the night for me. I mean, I am stunned that Trick got the win here. I mean, it's a very interesting story that they're telling here. And like, I mean, the crowd was really hot for both guys. Like they really, obviously they love Trick, but they also love Joe Hendry as well. And I think that this is huge for, the partnership between WWE and TNA. And I was just stunned by the ending here. I mean, obviously the match was awesome. Both guys were great, but I'm stunned by the ending.
I mean, at this point we have our full blown heel Trick, and I just I don't really know where they go from this though. Like, are they doing this because Hendry is still in fact working hurt, or is Trick going to end up losing the title relatively quickly back to a TNA person? Um, I don't know what TNA's rules are as far as rematches. I think unlike WWE, they get automatic rematches. So it'll
Hmm.
be interesting to see how they do that, if they do it at their next event or whatever TNA's next event is. But I can't imagine. for as awesome as this match was and as great as both these guys look, because Trick, I mean, whoever thought that we would get this caliber of work out of Trick when he was just Carmelo's errand boy?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I can't envision him carrying this title for very long.
Yeah, completely agree. Overall, I'd say good show. I'd probably give it a B. I think that the spots between Sol Ruca and Kalani Jordan were excellent. There were a lot of big athletic spots in that match. You know, the trick thing we just talked about obviously was the biggest shock of the night. Miles looked great. Kids definitely got a big future. We talked about Tony D'Angelo and Stacks having incredible chemistry in the ring. And I mean, Stephanie Victor, what more can you say about her? She's one of the best female wrestlers on the planet. Like, she's just absolutely outstanding. And the only downside I think to this show is I don't really think it kind of set much of anything up for the future
Nope.
here. It seems like a lot of stuff is just kind of like ended, and there really were no programs for any of like I mean there sort of was like a little bit of a stare down there at the end of the one match, but like nothing crazy, right? So like we don't really know where we're gonna go with this. So but it should be interesting, to keep it, keep watching NXT to see what comes next. But yeah, where would you rate it and what did you think overall?
I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It was on par with your typical NXT show, like probably the best. Like I'd say, even with as cool as some of the AEW stuff was, I think I'd still put this above it for the weekend.
Mm.
Couple of stories ended. Couple of them are now still obviously going to be continuing, like the D'Angelo family and the feud between Williams and Hendry, no doubt. But it also opens up a whole new variety of storylines of Trick versus almost anybody on the TNA roster. And then like who's going to be Sol Ruka's next challenger? At this point, who's going to be? I mean, actually, I think we know Stephanie's next challenger is going to be someone from AAA based on the backstage brawl that we saw. But I don't know enough about those two women to know which of them it will be. So yeah, it definitely some doors closed, but a few other doors opened, which is I feel like how you want these PLEs to go.
Mm. Yeah. I completely agree. So that was our breakdown, guys, of NXT Battleground. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And give us your thoughts and opinions on where you think some of these superstars go next, and what's going to happen with the main championships. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys real soon for a couple more reviews we've got coming, as well as the Raw podcast tomorrow and some NFL stuff coming out this week as well for you guys. So thank you so much. Have a great evening and take care.